Hey everyone, Shadox here. So this is going to be my first Lorcana video, and I figure it would be great to start with set 3 on putting out content like this. I have streamed Pixelborn a couple of times, but this will be probably the first video I do of many. So yeah, I guess we'll start here with probably the most hyped deck of Into the Inklands, and it's going to be Jafar Wheel, or JaWheeling as I'll call it. So I'll just quickly go over what's in the deck. We've got 4 copies of Robin Hood, Beloved Outlaw. We've got 4 copies of Blue Fairy. We've got 4 copies of Jafar, Royal Vizier. We've got 4 copies of Maleficent Sorceress. We've got 2 copies of Merlin Crab. We got 4 copies of Jafar Dreadnought. We got 4 copies of Beast Tragic Hero. 4 copies of Robin Hood, Champion of Sherwood. 4 copies of Tinkerbell, Giant Fairy. 4 copies of Jafar, Striking Illusionist. 4 copies of Baboom. 4 copies of Friends on the Other Side, 4 copies of And Then Along Came Zeus, 4 copies of A Whole New World, 2 copies of Grab Your Sword, and 4 copies of The Queen's Castle. So I just kind of put this list together myself, and I think that this is going to be kind of what most people will be. It'll look similar to most lists because I think the Blue Fairy package plus you know, the other draw cards like Queen's Castle, Maleficent, Friends on the Other Side are all just going to be auto includes into the deck. There could be possibly another route to go, like without Blue Fairy, but I think so far this one has been feeling the best. So I guess I'll start off by talking about the main combo or thing that everyone's been talking about. It's Jafar, Striking Illusionist plus A Whole New World. For those who don't know, the ruling has been announced as you do gain a lore for each card you draw off of A Whole New World, so you do gain 7 lore. So for example, if you go turn 5, you shift a Jafar, and then you sing A Whole New World with the Jafar Striking Illusionist, you do gain 7 lore. It doesn't sound very fair, right? But we'll have to see how things develop. But you do gain a ton of lore just from doing that. Aside from that, Jafar Striking Illusionist is just pretty much a good card. It's inkable, it's shiftable, it's evasive, it's got 5 health, and its effect, it's not limited to Whole New World. Like in a region that Amethyst is, it has a lot of draw. So even singing Friends gets you 2 lore, or just questing with Jafar and then playing Friends gives you 2 lore. Jafar plus Maleficent, Jafar plus you know, summon another Floodborn with Blue Fairies, things like that. All give you some free lore. One thing to point out is that Jafar readies at the beginning of turn before effects like Queen's Castle or Tragic Beast activate. So you don't get to gain lore off of Tragic Beast or Queen's Castle because Jafar won't be exerted anymore. Other than that, it's I honestly want to say it's pretty standard. It's I've got the Blue Fairy package because I play a lot of Floodborns. I've got Tinkerbell, I've got Jafar, I've got Robin Hood, I've got Beast, I've got the other Jafar, and they're all Floodborn, so I've got 20 ways to activate Blue Fairy, which is pretty nice. Overall, just a good card. 1 willpower, so could get like Tinkerbelled off or something, but usually in the early game there isn't much to deal with it. It's evasive as well, so makes it even harder to remove. And another card to talk about that is also new in this set is Robin Hood. Champion of Sherwood is a really good card. It's shiftable for 3, so I play the 1-drop Robin Hood as well. And then I have the new Champion of Sherwood Robin Hood. And his effect is really good. So, you know, in those situations where you're like, oh, do I need to put pressure on by questing, or do I need to start clearing off their units? Robin Hood can just challenge them instead, and you get the best of both worlds. You still gain your lore, which is nice. And the other really good effect is the Good of Others. And when this character is banished in a challenge, you may draw a card. So if you're deciding to trade Robin Hood into another card, you draw a card when he's banished. Or if they decide to challenge your Robin Hood and banish it, you get to draw a card. So it's like a really good card. 6 willpower is also not something that's easy to remove with non-challenging effects, unless you challenge and then use like a smash or something. And another new card that is in here is the Queen's Castle, and this is a 4-cost location that has 7 willpower, so can't die to Maui right away. The effect is what makes it really good, which can really get out of hand sometimes, especially with things like Blue Fairy being there, being evasive. They're hard to challenge or remove, or even just letting your characters sit there and like not exerting them so that they can't be removed. So you'll like almost guaranteed draw cards at the beginning of your next turn. And the fact that it gives you 2 lower turn is also really nice. And other cards I do have in here are typical steel removal. So we've got the new card Baboom, similar to Fire the Cannons, except it costs 1 more, it's inkable, and it can deal 2 damage to locations. And I also have Along Came Zeus, which is a song, costs 4 uninkable, but it deals 5 to a character or location. Both of these are really good, because I think locations are going to be quite all over in the beginning. I don't know how good they are yet. I think they're just really hard to remove for people who aren't prepared, and I'd like to be prepared for it. So Baboom seems like the choice over something like Fire Cannons or even Smash. But that is one of the flex spots you can kind of play around with cards. The other one, Along Came Zeus, is really good at just removing units or location. It can also be sung, which is kind of crazy. I can sing it with Jafar, or either of the 2 shiftable Jafars. I can sing it with Robin Hood, Beast, Pink. The fact that it does 5 is so important. It can kill a tragic beast. It can kill a tank, it can kill a Jafar, which is really important, especially if we're planning to see a lot more steel, a lot more of these wheel Jafar decks, these JaWheel decks. Also being able to deal 5 to a location when most locations do have, I want to say, 5 or 6. Willpower is pretty important because some locations can really get out of hand if you can't deal with them. So I think Zeus is like a really good card here. Finally, I've got 2 Merlin Crab I want to talk about. Again, I've put this in here because of locations, and I think I don't want to be, you know, caught unprepared. So I can go 2 drop Jafar into Merlin Crab and clear off a 6 health, 6 willpower location, which is pretty nice. It is also another flex spot. So my flex spots, I'd say, are the Along Came Zeus, the Babooms, and the Merlin Crabs. And you can kind of play around with the numbers there, or swap in and out for some other cards. I don't think I'd ever go down to 0 Along Came Zeus. I could see maybe going down to 3, maybe 2, but I think that card's really good. But I think I like it as a 4 of. And the other ones you could kind of play around with testing, like, do you need more grab your swords? Do you need more smashes? Things like that. But yeah, I guess let's play some games and see how it goes. Found Jafar, found a New World. Also got Blue Fairy, so probably just gonna end up keeping the Jafar, the Wheel, and the Blue Fairies. So here was pretty interesting. They played the Baloo bodyguard. I guess it kind of means that possibly is just a bodyguard focused deck, which is fine because I kind of want to do my own thing here. I don't really want to or need to attack into them, so I was quite fine seeing that. Also, I have Jafar on board with Jafar in hand, so looking pretty good. Although I am looking a bit stuck here with the triple Along Came Zeus, but again, Jafar New World doesn't really matter because that's coming down next turn. The only scary thing here was if they removed my Dreadnought Jafar. Yeah, and then here we go. I'm just gonna slam it, grab my 7 free lore, and unclog my hand. I shouldn't have drawn from Blue Fairy here, because it's just gonna end up getting discarded. So I just kind of wasted a card that way. And so I drew friends, so instead of just questing for 2, we're gonna actually sing the friends with Maleficent, because give us 2 extra lore instead of the 1 she'd normally quest for. And then Blue Fairy can go ahead and quest. And we drew another wheel here, which is lethal if this Jafar does not get removed. And it's looking like it's sticking on the board, so... the wheel into wheel with Jafar is so nasty. Oh, and there's another one. Keep Jafar, keep wheel. Hopefully we draw into big Jafar. I kept Maleficent as well. I don't know if that's correct, but I was just kind of figuring that she's draw, as well as a turn 3 play and inkable. So we go for Blue Fairy here instead of Jafar, since I don't need to play out Jafar right now, and I also don't have big Jafar in hand, so it might be worthwhile to keep it until turn 4. Yeah, and then here I go for the Little Robin Hood into the Shiftable Robin Hood, just to draw a card. I could have gone just Little Robin Hood into Jafar and then shifted next turn, but I think doing it now was a bit better because it also seems like they might be emptying their hand for wheel, which I don't mind too much, so I kind of want to put more stuff on the board. The other thing I was considering or thinking about there is they're not only on wheel turn, they're on grab your swords turn. And if I went for the wider board route, they would just all die to swords. And seeing Tragic Beast here is really nice because I have the Along Came Zeus. So I'm gonna sing Along Came Zeus here and then develop either Beast or the location. The location I really want to develop because it's really hard for Blue Steel to remove. They can't use their Hades or Let It Goes. They have to like actually attack it, and they don't have many good attackers, I want to say, aside from maybe Tinkerbell, which comes down on 6, and I don't see it here yet. And then so I also put Maleficent with the one leftover ink that I have, so I can draw an extra card at the beginning of the next turn. So here I just slammed Jafar. There isn't really too much of an answer. I think they could have, I mean, they have 2 cards in hand. They could have like another Hades or a Let It Go, which is, I guess, fine. Because at the moment I'm just kind of questing and drawing cards. And here I'm going to want to ink something so I can attach the Blue Fairy or the Jafar to the location. I should have probably attached, I don't know, it's tough. Because if Jafar remains on the board, Jafar seems like the more high priority target for them to remove, so it's the one that'll be most likely taken care of. Whereas Blue Fairy, it's just like something small they'd have to deal with. So I think I should have put Blue Fairy at the location instead. Although it does die to like swords or something. Or Tinkerbell. Yeah, so it's just funny how that worked out for me. And so I also don't play, so I didn't play Wheel here because I don't really have a need to. It's not instantly winning me the game, and they're down to 1 card, and they couldn't answer the Jafar last turn, so I have no like good reason to believe that they can answer it again this turn. And at the moment I'm just drawing a ton of cards with Sad Beast, I'm drawing a ton of cards with the location. I have another Sad Beast in hand. I don't need to play these new worlds at all. Yeah, so I keep Baboom and I kept Robin Hood. The reason I kept Baboom was just in the off chance that it was like aggro Ruby Amethyst, I can shoot off Pinocchio or Maleficent. Yeah, so here I go for the shift onto Jafar, so I can draw a card off of the snake swinging into snake. And then it leaves me 2 mana left to boom the Maleficent. So that way they can't kill off this Jafar. Unless they do like 1 drop into Fox. Yeah, and then here I have the option of just slamming Jafar or playing location and moving a unit to it to draw an extra card. And I think I just go for Jafar here. So I was a bit scared to quest with Jafar here because the Pascal's evasive, and if they do have a crab, they can clear off the Jafar. Yeah, but they have the Dragonfire for it regardless, so... Yeah, here I go for Blue Fairy plus location. They don't exactly have a good way to clear it, but with it being Ruby Amethyst, Maui is always a big problem. It can't clear it in 1 hit. They could have killed it with the Merlin plus Maui, but they decided to leave it there for another turn. And here I go for the Tinkerbell. Draw a card, kill off the other 2 units. Zeus is not bad. And then I feel like the location's gonna die this turn, so I don't bother inking the Jafar and moving a unit to the location. I feel like I could get more value out of Jafar later, but just by playing him, drawing another card with Blue Fairy. And in this spot, I think I was supposed to just slam New World, but I actually end up going for the clear instead. So I end up going for the clear on Maui and then questing, when I think I should have just played a whole New World, even though they were down a couple cards. This really ends up being bad for me because now they've still got this Merlin I can trade into the Maleficent. They've got an evasive quest for 2 character on board. Because eventually I'm gonna have to play this new world with how down in cards I am, and their top decks are probably much better than mine. Because their top decks consist of removal, whereas mine consist of just big units, right? Like there, Tremaine, it's all packaged into one. And here I find Sad Beast, so it's looking pretty good. I think I'm fine to ink it now. Thinking this beast would stick around, but they top deck another Tremaine. And then from here, it's looking pretty doomed. Yeah, I draw another New World, and then I try to do what I can. But now that they have a fresh hand, it's definitely not looking good. I think in this matchup, I'd keep the location just because it's so hard for them to deal with. I also kept Robin Hood and Robin Hood simply because I've got the whole little shift package. I've got Blue Fairy, I've got Robin Hood into Robin Hood. I even have Jafar for the turn 4 play, so it's looking pretty nice. Yeah, I see them ink a Beast Mirror, which is really interesting. Makes me think they're playing Tiana, perhaps. I don't really want to ink the location yet. I don't want to ink Big Robin Hood either. Sucks that I kind of got screwed with uninkables there. So I had to get rid of the Jafar, but that's fine. I have another turn 4 play, which is location, and I'm quite happy with that. It's probably a better play than playing the Jafar anyways. And in here I find a Baboom, which is nice because I can ink it. And then I can shift out Robin Hood, draw a card. And then here I decide not to attack or quest with Robin Hood because I don't want it to get killed by Smash plus Hook or something like that. And then having it on board to sing something the next turn is nice. Yeah, there you go. Now I can sing Zeus plus Plated Location. So even though I had to use Zeus on a Captain Hook, it's not too bad, right? It lets me keep everything on board without having to worry about any retaliation aside from something big like this is like Let It Go turn. They can't get to Hades yet. Well, they could play their own Zeus. Oh, if they play their own Zeus, it's still not enough to kill Robin Hood. Why does Robin Hood have 6 HP? Yeah, and then it's looking pretty doomed for them there. Ruby Sapphire. I find Wheel here. I find Little Robin Hood, and I probably just get rid of the rest. Finding Jafar into other Jafar. Snake Jafar is okay. Kind of gives me some plays to do. I do want something else to ink. I'll probably have to ink Tink next turn as well. I want to keep the curve going. Seeing Jasmine is interesting. Makes me think they're playing a Pabby deck. They could also be playing Big Jasmine, which is a reason I shouldn't have quested here. Because now if they do play Big Jasmine, she can just attack and clear the Robin Hood. Yeah, and then yeah, they do have it. So they decide not to trade into the Robin Hood. I thought they would trade into the Robin Hood and then heal it back up a Popsicle or something. I guess it kind of makes sense that they want to try and protect their Jasmine if they're kind of like the combo deck. But I have the Zeus to clear it off. So I shift Jafar onto Jafar and then I sing Zeus into Jasmine. So from here, it's looking pretty good for me so far. I've even got Wheel in a couple of turns coming down. And I see Donald get inked. So it seems like, I don't know if it's Pabby still, but it's like some Donald kind of, I don't want to call it cheese, but combo deck maybe. So I just quest there with just Robin Hood because I don't want Jafar to have the potential of dying when I'm going to wheel Jafar next turn. Because it could have died to like Flavor Sham hitting Jafar and then smash or something. And they end up playing Montanui, the new location that when characters are banished there, they can go to the Inkwell instead. which is pretty interesting. So I'm just gonna end up inking the Robin Hood and then slamming the Jafar, and then grabbing my free 7 lore. And then from here, it's just more about like starting the game over, sort of. Because it's almost like I'm starting the game again, but I'm up like 7 lore. Which is why Jafar seems kind of nutty, right? And then they have to deal with it as well, and that's why Jafar plus New World seems like such a annoying or broken, possibly, combo. So I just go for Blue Fairy location plus bar, and then I send the Blue Fairy to the location to draw 2 cards. So the scary thing is that this is Ruby Sapphire, so unlike Sapphire Steel, they do have a decent way of clearing this location because they can play Maui. And they have the Flavor Sham on board to finish it off. Though if they did do that, I didn't mind too much, really, because I still have Jafar plus Fairy plus Shift Jafar Illusionist in hand. But then, so location ends up sticking around. I get my 2 free lore. I get to shift Jafar, quest for Jafar, play Maleficent, draw a card, gain a lore from it, and then send these characters to the location to draw some more cards. Yeah, seeing Pabby come down is a bit scary because I know Pabby can kind of win out of nowhere if I don't win this turn. I can finish him off this turn, but if they can't clear the beast or the location or both the other units, then I win. But it's still pretty scary with Pabby. I don't think they have enough cards in hand to actually win on the spot. On board, they have, what, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lore? So not exactly enough. They go for the be prepared to clear the board instead after killing the location. And all of that gets added to ink for them because they were at the location. So I top deck Robin Hood, I play it out. I'm considering playing Tinkerbell as well to kind of protect it from Tremaine, or if they have a single target removal, I'd still have the other 2 lore quester on the board to finish the game off. I was also a bit scared of like be prepared or something. And they do end up having to let it go. And they had to let it go and ended the turn with Pabby on board, so that was like really scary. It was also extra scary me damaging their Pabby with the Tinkerbell. I don't think, again, they have enough cards to kind of do any Pabby combos, but... And again, they just kind of clear the board. I draw another wheel, have to cast it. Kind of have to put down lethal on board. So I end up going with the Sad Beast plus the Maleficent Robin Hood. They're also getting really close to winning as well, passively off of the location. So Pabby again, really scary. With Popsicle, they only need to heal 4 times. And then they'll win. Because that'll be 8 lore they'd get. I see 1 on board right now, which is Popsicle. So they just need somehow 3 more times to heal, plus another source of damage. So I don't think they can actually win. Well, that's 2. Yeah, they just don't have enough ink or cards to do it. And we end up getting there. Next we got like a mirror match. We've got Amethyst Steel versus Amethyst Steel. So I want to find my Jafar, my wheel. First, I also want to try to look for Along Came Zeus to clear their Jafar. And then they ink a Pyros. So now I don't know really what they're playing. Could still be Jafar. And then I see the Bayou. So it's a bit confusing. Bayou might be kind of cool with Jafar. I see Diablo come down. Yeah, so for here, I go for the shift onto Jafar and then swing into the Diablo to draw a card. I could have probably killed the land location, which might have been better, I think, rather than killing the bird. But I just wanted to draw more cards. Yeah, so Maleficent ends up killing the Jafar because I traded in before. And then, so here I can either go for double fairy or I can go for the location. And this is the Jafar turn coming up, so I'm a bit scared. So I feel like I might get wheeled this turn, so I kind of want to dump my hand. In the end, they don't actually have the Jafar wheel combo. They just kind of play 2 more units, which is quite fine with me. And then I top deck a really nice grab your sword, so I get rid of the location here. I'm just debating on, do I want to play this beast and draw 2 cards and then draw an extra card at the beginning of next turn? Or do I want to clear the board completely? And I think clearing the board completely is a lot better, because I can just play the beast next turn and do all this. Also, by clearing the board now, I get rid of their Jafar, so their shiftable target, and I also allow these fairies to quest safely without the Jafar killing them off. Like, thinking about it now, I don't even think that Jafar is supposed to have evasive, but I think that was like a bug that's like in Pixelborn still. Yeah, so I just end up, so instead of questing here, I just end up putting damage onto the location. That way next turn, I can just send 1 fairy in and then deal with, and leave 1 up or quest with the other one, depending on what comes down here. Yeah, so here I'm just gonna slam the Tragic Beast, draw 2 cards, and then finish off the location, ink something, and then pass. They end up playing another location, which is also like pretty good for them because it draws them a ton of cards. So thankfully, I do have the answer. The question is, do I want to send this Zeus into the snake? Or do I want to send it into the location and kill it off? I have like quite a few options here. So I can sing the song and hit the location and then send both fairies into the location. I can sing the song or use Baboom. I could just send everything in to attack plus Baboom. It's like, I think in the end I was supposed to like just cast Along Came Zeus onto the snake and then play Baboom onto the location and then swing everything into the location to finish it off. I think I just wanted to draw more cards again because I saw the Floodborn Jafar plus the fairies. So yeah, obviously the better play was to hard cast Zeus, play the Baboom, and then swing everything into the location. And then that was it. But either way, I'm sitting in a pretty nice position here. They didn't get to draw an extra card off the location, so yeah, they play the new Hades. Not too worried about it. So now here I'm gonna send these into the location, play my own location, send the blue fairies there plus the Jafar, and then and Beast, and then that's it. Draw a bunch of cards next turn. Yeah, this deck does draw a lot of cards sometimes. I just play swords here, clear up all this. I go for more draw with blue fairies, with Beast, Maleficent. Attach another to the location. And then they play that new card, Clash of the Titans, that clears off an item or location. That card's kind of cool. It's inkable as well. But I think if locations or items become like really big, that's going to become more prominent. Well, I guess thanks for watching. Hopefully you'll see more videos come out soon. And take care.